Hi guys, it's April and it's been a while. It's been quite a few months since I've done a vote for what I should color next because I think the last time we did this whole vote, we ended up with a tie between two, or not a tie. Okay, a desire in my heart to do at least two different pictures inside of Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Roseanne. And so that was the Little Match Girl and the Little Mermaid. We did those, and in between those, we did a Gandalf kitty in the pop manga Catitude book. So it's probably been since June. It was probably the last time I did a vote. So I did a vote, and I was going for some of those like fall transitioning into winter kind of vibes because that's where we're at. So I picked four different images. And in this first one, it was giving me all of the feels. And that was this picture right here. I called her, I don't even remember what I called her. But just this girl and this cat with the cute little hat. And I have a desire to do something in Sakulam because I haven't done one of hers in a while. So that was the first one I had up for vote. And of course, voting was over. I had a post up that you could do on YouTube. On my channel on Instagram, you could go over there and vote as well. And why are my hands really yellow? There we go. I also had a short vote up on Threads for a little while as well, so you could vote in three different areas for something that you liked. And then I have three different versions of these vintage fairies now because I just got on a kick of them. And I thought this one would be fun to do during this season. I, of course, would like attempt to replicate what's on this page with probably colored pencils. That would be the easiest way. Kind of like what I've done with a lot of the Thomas Kincaid coloring books that I have. I just kind of like doing that a lot of times. So I threw that one in for the voting. And then I have been trying for years to get you guys to vote for this one, and that is this. She reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood, but of course she's like the wolf version of Little Red Riding Hood. So at some point I will color this. I might have to go rogue on you guys if you guys don't vote for this one. So this was number 3. And then finally, I don't know if it would be one of my voting polls if I didn't have something from a mythographic coloring book in there somewhere, since I have so many of them at this point. I thought this warrior mouse would be kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if it 100% gives off like that fall winter vibe, but we could definitely make it do that. But there was something about this that was calling to me, and I think it was the mouse, if I'm honest. I guess I just associate mice with fall and winter. Is that weird? That's probably weird. So after putting all of the voting together, let me double check my stats. Okay. Funnily enough, the two Sockworms were probably the lowest on the voting poll. I think more people need to discover her. She's great. So these two are out, unfortunately. So it came down to these two, both of the mouse images. And I'm really not surprised at the way that the voting went, because usually when I throw one of these kind of images into the voting, it's usually what everyone gravitates towards, because most people know about the franchise or have the coloring book. And so we will be coloring in Dragonspell, or I will be. If you want to join me, that would be great. But we will be doing the warrior mouse. And I see that Jeff has mentioned Reaper Cheap. But to me, this feels more like Redwall. And I don't know how many of you guys read any of the Redwall series. That was the vibe I was getting from this. I don't know why. That's where my brain went. So Redwall it is. But I did decide that I'm going to pull out my color cubes because I haven't for a while and get some color inspo before I close out the stream today, because I probably won't start coloring this until next time because I need to decide what mediums I'm going to use. But I think we can pick out some colors today. And I do know that Sarah Renee Clark has just launched her second edition of these color cubes. And I have been drooling over them for the past 2 weeks. Or is it a week? I don't know. Time is weird. And someday I will get that new system. But for now, I'll be using this. This is number 2. This is box number 2. And I think I want to look up, I think 315, I think was my original, because I want to give it the fall feel. So I want to go with some of those autumnal fall. 39, need 15, 17, 16. In theory, the next one up should be 15. So that starts on some, I don't know how I feel about this one. It's one of them. I think there's a few in the first cube that I was really feeling a little bit more. I think 133. I did a quick rough lookup of these before I started the stream. And get these out. That one is probably one of my favorites because it pulls in some of those colors for the armor and then some of the colors that we can use for like the mouse. But see, if we pair these together, we can make the cat maybe an orangey color. And then we've got colors for the armor and then colors for the mouse and things like that. I also wanted to pull out 145. And I might take colors from all 3 of these. But I would love to hear your thoughts on where you think this could go. And I always seem to do mythographic with a marker base and then colored pencils over top. And I'll probably do that here. I just need to decide what marker base I want. So this is number 3 because we can do like some of these like darker blues, maybe as the flower colors and such. Because I don't really want them to pop as like, I don't want it to feel like too much like spring. But maybe I'll lean more towards like the golden colors for like the leaves and such. And maybe keep like these browns for the cats and then these browns for the mouse. So I feel like playing with like these 3 color palettes together would be an interesting thing to do for this page. But like I said, one thing I need to think about is what do I want to use for my base? I don't think I want to use Copic because there's too fine of details, which leaves me leaning more towards the Tombos or my Cure Colors for a base. Or I could just use my generic water-based markers. But see, if I chose the Tombos, do I want to use the alcohol base or the watercolor base? And these are one of the few coloring books where I don't have to worry about ruining a image on the backside. So I tend to lean more towards the alcohol based markers in these coloring books. But I did just use Tombos. And I do like the Cure colors, but most people don't have them. So I don't like using them too often for things I'm doing on these possible color alongs. I don't know. I might have to do an additional poll uh, in the next couple of days asking you guys, do you want to see me use my Tombow water, my Tombow alcohol, my Cure colors, or my generic water-based markers? I guess I also have my Pitt pens, and there are some watercolor markers that I could use as well. I haven't used my watercolor markers. I could do that. Hold on just a second. I might have to do this. Might have just talked myself into this. I have these Gold Faber sketch markers, and they've got some nice tips on them. And see, they've got this nice point too. So I think I'm going to do it because they have a lot of brown tones and gray tones in this line. So I think I should be able to do a like pretty good base of color for some of these more like ochre or ochre style colors. Excuse me, not ochre, ochre. I'll probably have to rely on colored pencils, but I could do a base that somewhat matches that. So yeah, okay. I've talked myself into it. I'm probably going to use the Gold Faber sketch markers. I'm trying to think if I've used them anywhere yet. And for the life of me, I don't think I have. So I think I'm going to do this. I will note that my next live stream will probably be a little later in the day next weekend, simply because life and everything in it. If I don't end up doing a special live stream, I don't know. I'll have to think through my schedule. It's getting that time of year where it's like you have 17,000 different obligations and you're trying to find time for all of them. But I will definitely put up a reminder when I'm going to go live, and then you can click notify me for when that happens. I, of course, will always post on all of my socials that I'm going live. Most of the time, I remember. It's not very often that I forget. So I will definitely let you guys know when I'm going live so you can come and join me and we can start this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. I know this was a short one today, but I never really like jumping straight into a piece without having time to like think about it a little bit. So I will definitely see you guys in the next stream. And I hope you guys are okay with just a short little stream today. I do hope I will see you guys again next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining me today, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.